Yo, what is up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Today, we're yet again with Disturbing Encounters, part number 11. Part number 11. Today, we're doing 5 most disturbing stealth camping encounters caught on camera. Um, of course, we're doing Chilling Scares again because he's like the best YouTuber when it comes to this sort of stuff. Literally, the best. So, let's jump into 5 disturbing stealth camping. If you don't know what stealth camping is, it's kind of like like you're doing it in your car in like a van in the middle of fucking nowhere, and like no one knows you're camping. I think that's what it means. I think I might be tanking the explanation here, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure like you like in your car, backseat of your car, like no one can see you. People think you're just like a parked car, but you're camping.
Ian on YouTube is a channel run by 30-year-old Ian who's been posting on the platform for the better part of a decade. His content covers everything from day-in-the-life work vlogs to different adventures after hours. And while most of it is nothing more than fun, one particular encounter left him shaken to his core. On January 18th, 2024, Ian posted a video going over the disturbing experience he had while stealth camping in a McDonald's parking lot in Palm Springs, California. Stealth
Yes, I'm talking about like you're just in like a random parking lot. People think you're just like a parked or abandoned car or something. You're just camping, sleeping.
camping, for those who don't know, is when someone spends the night in a vehicle or tent in an area not officially designated for camping, usually while trying to avoid detection. It's often done out of necessity, curiosity, or simply for the thrill of it. And while it can be harmless, it also means the camper is completely exposed and vulnerable to whatever or who.
That's the thing. If you're trying to get thrill out of it, I feel like you're wanting something to happen, something bad to happen. If you're going out there for the thrill of it, it's like you're asking for, like, please, somebody come to my car when I'm trying to sleep at night.
Whoever might be lurking nearby. This is exactly what happened with Ian on the 16th of January 2024. He'd been stealth camping for quite some time by that point and had spent nights in much harsher conditions, like during heavy rain or in a sandstorm. So staying overnight in a McDonald's parking lot seemed like nothing to him. Unfortunately, he couldn't have been more wrong. After setting everything up, he went to lie down in the back of his car. But just as he was about to fall asleep, he was interrupted by the sound of someone repeatedly trying to open his car's door. He immediately got up to see who it was, and this is what he came across.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's up? What's up, man? What's going on? What are you doing?
There was a man standing outside the passenger door. What made the
The guy doesn't know how to react, bro. He's like, oh, I got caught. No, what do I do?
encounter even more unsettling was that the man never said a word, even as Ian repeatedly called out to him, trying to get some kind of explanation for what he was doing.
Yeah, things on drugs, bro.
Hey, bro.
To be honest with you.
What's up? What you doing, man? Ain't weird, bro.
Despite his panic, however, he made the wise decision to stay locked within his car and quickly drive to a more hidden spot in the lot. But that wasn't enough, because just a few minutes later, Ian spotted the same man walking around the parking lot, possibly trying to locate his car. Fearing for his safety, he drove to a completely different location and managed to sleep through the rest of the night without any incident. Still, the question remained, who was this man and what exactly was he trying to do? Ian never made a follow-up.
Bro, I hope he drove far, dude, because I'm gonna drive like 10 miles before I park my car. I'm driving across the fucking city. I'm not taking a risk, man. Why, you drive like half a mile away, bro. Man can find you. I'm gone. I'm across the city. I'm across the town. I don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ.
Shared any more info regarding the encounter in the video's description, so we can only speculate on what happened that night. Now, it's entirely possible that he was just a harmless, mentally ill person who wasn't fully conscious of what he was doing. This could explain why he didn't answer when Ian called out to him and just calmly walked away without a word.
Just hopped on the phone at
a
Mountain
far more
Dew.
likely explanation is that the act of trying to break into Ian's car was completely intentional, and when he was caught, he just acted confused and harmless to seem less threatening. Perhaps he really thought the car was empty and was trying to steal it. Or maybe he knew Ian was inside and had intentions to rob him or something far more sinister. His strange behavior also suggested that he might have been under the influence of some kind of drugs, which would have made him even more unstable and, by extension, more dangerous. Fortunately, Ian managed to drive away unscathed before he could find out the man's true intentions.
Yeah, I think he was on drugs, like no doubt about it. That motherfucker was on drugs.
On February 11th, 2024, stealth camping YouTuber Brendan Explores posted a video of him spending a night in the small village of Jaywick, England. The thing about Jaywick, however, is that it's been named as the most deprived town in all of England. The combination of high unemployment and poor living conditions has pushed many of its residents toward a life of crime. Brendan, however, wanted to see the village firsthand to decide whether it was truly as bad as the media made it out to be.
Dude, this place just looks like a fucking tornado just came through 10 minutes earlier. Like, my God, that's rough.
His first impressions of the place were quite good, with him admiring the natural landscape surrounding the village. What he didn't realize at the time was that this lighthearted escape to the countryside would soon spiral into complete disaster. It began with him driving through the town and searching for a discreet spot to park his van so he could settle in before it got dark. He eventually found a parking lot that looked promising and decided to make it his home for the night. But it didn't take long for him to start noticing a series of red flags in the area, like people riding around with gangster rap blaring from a speaker.
What do you expect if it's like an abandoned town that like people left and the crime rate got super high? Like what do you expect? Why somebody's going to try to break into your car? If you're in a fucking place where the crime rate's that high, if somebody sees a car or some type of vehicle that's like not normally there, if they live there and they like, if they're criminals and they're going out to find crime and they see something that's not normally there, yeah, they're probably going to try to rob it. What do you mean? Of course.
And a group of street racers speeding down the road right in front of the parking lot. As the evening approached, he was also left alone in the parking lot, making him a prime target for any would-be robber. So, after thinking about it for a few minutes, he thought it would be best to leave the parking lot and find a more secluded spot for camping.
I mean, honestly, if it was me, I feel like you'd want to find a place that's like more cars. Because then you have less of a chance of somebody coming to your car. You know, if there's freaking somewhere with like 30 cars, I feel like you have a better off chance of no one like touching your car because there's so many others. Like, you know, put yourself in like the middle of a parking lot where there's like 10 cars. Your odds go down a lot. If there's 20 cars or 30 cars, dude, your odds go down so much. That's what I would do, honestly. You're going out in the middle of the freaking woods, there'd be some creepy, mostly if you're like just on the edge of town.
He eventually went down a dirt trail and parked in the middle of nowhere without any houses or major roads nearby. This turned out to be the worst decision Brendan could have made in that situation, because at around 2:30 a.m., about 4 hours after he went to sleep, he was woken up by the sound of someone walking around his van.
I think someone's outside the van. Yeah, so how about we get up, start the van, and go? Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Let's do. Don't even contemplate it. Get in the driver's seat, start the van, just drive off, even with everything covered. Just uncover enough to be able to see.
This person then tried to open the van's sliding door. But before Brendan even had a chance to fully understand his predicament, this happened.
Hey!
Whoever this person was shattered the passenger side window before running away once Brendan started shouting. In the video's description, Brendan speculated that this person was likely trying to steal the mini refrigerator he had on the passenger seat. While this might not be entirely accurate, there's still some truth behind it. Judging by the fact that the intruder fled the moment they heard Brendan, it's likely they were simply looking to steal something, nothing more. As for how they managed to find his van in the middle of nowhere, it's entirely possible that they stalked him from when he was in town. However, given these circumstances, the situation could have turned out a lot worse. As one comment under the video pointed out, when you said you had found the perfect quiet spot after driving away from town down a quiet pitch-black lane in the middle of nowhere with nobody else around for miles, at that point I was absolutely terrified. How on earth you managed to go to sleep to begin with amazes me. A few blokes with their hoods pulled down and armed, and you wouldn't have stood a chance. While nothing truly tragic occurred, the experience was terrifying enough to rattle Brendan. Instead of staying the night, he drove through the darkness until daybreak just to make it back home, which was ultimately the right call. He's still making stealth camping videos, but now he's far more cautious about where he parks, especially when it comes to remote or isolated spots.
Dude, like that's what I'm saying. Like, why? I don't see how it would be how you think it'd be a good idea. Just like, let's just drive. Yeah, let's drive down this creepy dark road right outside of town, where the crime rate is immaculate, and hope no one's out here. And dude, if I heard somebody walking around my car, mostly in this type of situation where the crime rate's this high, like I've said before, crime rate's that high, you hear somebody walking around your car, what do you think they're there for? You think they're just admiring your van in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m., whatever time it was? You think they're just admiring your van? No. They're going to try to break into that bitch. Like, that is obvious. Like, I would have gotten in my driver's seat, opened up that front curtain just enough to be able to see where I was going, and I'm flooring it. I'm flooring it. I don't know what the fuck this man was thinking. It's like he wanted something to happen, dude. Like, come on, bro. Come on, brother.
In March of 2025, a camping YouTuber named Daniel Mark Brown planned a stealth camping trip in the woodlands surrounding Oswestry, England. His plan was simple: travel alongside one of the many hiking trails in the area and then go off trail to find a good stealth spot. And this worked better than he expected, finding the perfect...
So he's not even in like a van or anything. He's just out and about walking. Okay.
hidden camping area.
A little bit
in
more
no
creepy.
time. After setting down his supplies, Daniel went to the nearby river to cook a meal before heading back to the spot he
Make some
found earlier.
ramen tacos.
By the time he came
Shit.
back, it was already starting to get dark, and the trail was starting to empty out, giving Daniel the peace of mind to wind down and call it a night. However, what happened next made him realize the true danger he was in. After laying out his sleeping bag, settling down, and finally falling asleep, 90 minutes had passed when he was suddenly jolted awake.
100% being spotted. Right, I'm trying to keep calm and keeping calm. I'm almost too scared to breathe here. I think a dog or something just came in.
Daniel was woken up by the cracking of branches, followed by the light from a flashlight. He eventually found the courage to unzip his sleeping bag.
My man says a dog came. I don't think dogs can hold flashlights, homie. I don't think that's a thing. I'm just gonna put that out there, my man. They do not have opposable thumbs, okay, buddy?
To see who was out there.
Oh, that's right. They're looking straight at me. I am trying not to panic.
By this point, he couldn't think of anything else to do but call out to the person who was now aiming the flashlight at him. But instead of getting a reply of any kind, the person just turned around and disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again.
Hello? They haven't been about, I haven't seen a single light now for maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't even know. I've been just trying to keep as calm as possible, but when they walked off and the light went out, I don't even know which direction they were, but somewhere in that direction.
That's why you need a pew pew. That's why you need a pew pew when you're out stealth camping. Whoever does this shit, whoever's crazy enough to do this, this is why you need that, okay? I'm just gonna put it out there. You need something for self-protection. A lot of these people, like so far, or that I've heard of that does this crap, like none of them, I feel like, bring weapons. Like, I'm sorry, dude, in the world, I know it's crazy that you have to do this, but in the type of world we live in, bruh, you gotta have something to protect yourself. Or you just asking for it. Especially, like, if you're in a place, like if you're, like, in a town that you live in, that you're used to, you've been there, living there for a long time, and you go to the same camping spot that you usually go to, or go to the same camping spot that a bunch of other families and stuff go to, that's not as bad. Yeah, you'd feel safe not having anything on you. But like you're going like random places you've never been, you don't know nothing about, you don't know how many people camp there, you don't know if it's a friendly place or if it's known for being dangerous. You're just going there. Like, I feel like you gotta have some common sense here. You got to, bro.
Let's just go.
This experience startled him enough to quickly pack his stuff and hightail out of the wooded area. However, if the person with the flashlight had malicious intent, leaving the campsite wasn't going to be an easy task. The way they refused to respond to Daniel's hello was unsettling enough. But how they silently turned off their light and disappeared into the woods suggested they might have been hiding, waiting to ambush him to rob him, or possibly worse.
Yeah, because you can tell they weren't just like looking around. Like maybe if the flashlight, was going back and forth, maybe they didn't see him. They were just looking around the woods, walking around. Because like if you're walking out in the middle of the woods, you're kind of shining the flashlight everywhere. You're not just shining it straight. You're shining around, make sure there's nothing around you all the time. You're doing shit like that. This guy was pointing it directly at this man's standing stock still for an extended period of time, bruh. He was going to do something. Unless he was like scared he's seen him while he was flashing around and like caught a glimpse of him. Was like, hey, what's that? What's that over there? Maybe. Like that could be possible. But yeah, I feel like you would. I feel like if you weren't going to answer, maybe like you were scared because you heard hello. You'd maybe like run a little bit, not just like fucking casually walk away.
That being said,
That's
it's
my
entirely possible that the mysterious person was just someone walking their dog at night or something else completely innocent. As for why they didn't reply to Daniel, it's possible they were just as scared as he was after hearing a hello from the darkness of the woods. However,
I go into a rant about something and I swear to God, this guy's reading my mind. He says almost the same thing that I said. I know I drug it on a little bit and said it a little bit differently, but it was almost the same fucking thing that I said. For real.
we also can't rule out the possibility that they were trying to sneak up on Daniel for some sinister reason, only turning around once they realized they'd been spotted. Whatever the case may be, Daniel made it out of the woods safely without encountering the same person again. Ellie and Graham are an elderly duo from the UK who travel around the country in their camper van while vlogging about their adventures on YouTube. In November of 2022, they were on one of their trips when they had to urgently travel back home due to an emergency. However, they were too far away to make it back in one day. After searching online, they found a stealth camping spot on the outskirts of a town called Altrincham. It was a fairly small car park, but the couple was in a hurry, so they didn't have any other choice but to camp there for the night, hoping to get back on the road the next morning. What they didn't expect...
Dude, honestly, like, if you can't find anywhere, dude, just pull off on the side of the fucking interstate and sleep like truck trailers do. Like, truck trailers do it all the time. Get a good little distance off just so you don't get hit by a random crackhead in the middle of the night. And just sleep there. I feel like that's honestly safer than going to some weird place that you've never fucking been, hoping nothing happens. At least you got, like, state troopers and stuff on the highway, at least. So you got, like, some sort of protection in a sense.
However, was that this would spiral into the most terrifying experience of their entire camping journey. By the time they got to this location, it was already dark out. They parked their van and settled in for the night, going to sleep at around 11 p.m. But then at 1 a.m., both of them woke up to the sound of loud music blaring from a car. However, the music stopped soon after, so they brushed it off and began settling back into their bed. That's when they both heard a disturbing bang coming from their own van. It was loud enough that they thought a tree had fallen onto their van. They quickly rushed outside to see what had happened, and this was the shocking sight they came across.
Just can't believe it. We've just been woken up with a loud bang, and you dropped something on the floor there. Or was that glass? 2 bricks. And someone's just smashed Merlin's windows while we were sleeping. So no, we don't recommend this as a place to stop. They smashed the windscreen, but Graham's hoping he can drive with that. But here's us in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, and the shittiest part is that it's fucking raining. It's great. They just ran away immediately. I wonder if they were just doing it to be fucking dicks, breaking people's windows, or if they were planning on doing something. That's what I'm wondering. But damn, bro, throw a damn brick through the window, bro. Damn. In the middle of a rainstorm.
Window and a cracked windscreen. About 200 miles from home.
After some investigation, they found 3 bricks around the van, which was severely damaged. The windshield was cracked, the passenger side window was completely shattered, and the van had a massive dent behind the sliding door. More troubling than the physical damage to the van was the psychological impact on Ellie and Graham, who were now absolutely terrified. It's also possible that this could have been a trap designed to lure them out of the safety of their locked van. However, even after hours had passed, no one approached the couple, attempted a break-in, or made any kind of move toward them. But instead of bringing comfort, this only made the two even more unsettled. They were just attacked with multiple bricks, yet they had no idea.
There's no way they stayed in that damn parking lot. I'm driving off immediately. I do not care. I don't care if there's water all up in my van. I'm driving off immediately. How do you hang out there after a situation like this happens? You are freaking insane.
Who did it and why. After talking to the family from another camper van that was parked nearby, they learned that the attacker came in a car, as the other family heard tire screeches after the attack. Ellie and Graham also figured that this was a group effort, because despite the multiple bricks, there was only one collision sound. In other words, there were at least 3 suspects who threw bricks at the same time. Why would anyone attack an elderly couple out of nowhere and then leave without gaining anything from it? Maybe they just wanted to scare off campers for whatever reason. But if that were the case, why was the other van spared completely? Unfortunately, there's really no clues to help answer these questions. No faces were seen, no voices were heard, and no clear motive ever emerged, leaving the entire incident a complete mystery. And while Ellie and Graham were too scared to ever go stealth camping again after this incident, it seems by now they've since made a complete recovery and are back on the road again. On the 15th of July,
Well, you know, at least they were able to overcome it and go do what they enjoy again. It's just crazy that shit like that happens, and like you're just trying to do stuff that you enjoy doing with your family or your loved ones, and people just have to do that to ruin it. It's just fucking crazy. Because like they weren't even trying to break in. They literally just did it to do it. For no reason, just to be dicks. Like, come on, brother. Come on.
July 2022, YouTuber The Abandoned Camper uploaded a video of her stealth camping in an abandoned cemetery from the 1800s. Things started off quite normal as she found a clearing hidden in the thick foliage
Who the
and
fuck
began
does that?
unpacking her camping gear. After setting up camp, she decided to explore the cemetery to pass the time until nightfall. And that's when things started to take a strange
So this lady just wants something to happen. She wacky as hell. Why the hell are you doing this? Why the hell are you gonna stay in the middle of a cemetery? Brother.
turn. As she was filming the gravestones, she began to hear what sounded like a bunch of kids screaming.
I hear a bark and some kids, maybe like a dog scaring some kids, maybe. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm hearing a bark too.
She assumed she was alone in the cemetery, however, she could not have been more wrong. As she was going back to her camp, she saw a group of kids in the distance who likely knew about her presence.
So if you can't tell, it's pretty dark here right now, but there are kids here, like young kids in the cemetery. And I'm wondering how active this place actually is. Do people come here at night and kind of party in the forest or something? That dog kind of ruined it. Not ruined it, I shouldn't say that. The dog barking, I didn't want to disturb anybody, especially since I'm not supposed to be here. So I think I'll finish my exploring tomorrow morning. And because there seems to be still a lot of stuff here. See? Hear them? I think they know I'm here. That's not good.
At this point, she was pretty certain that the kids knew about her and were just messing with her. However,
Dude, what do you expect, bro? You're in the middle of a fucking graveyard in the middle of the night. Like, what do you expect, bro? Who does this? Who does this?
She still kept her camera rolling just in case, and even made sure that she wasn't followed back to the campsite.
I'm gonna keep this recording. Just in case. But I'm also gonna stop
I don't know if a recording's gonna save you, but okay.
and find out what they're doing. If they're actually watching me or not. Oh, I can see them. I just don't want them to see where I'm going.
I don't see fucking shit, bro. All I see is blackness and blurriness. I don't see a fucking thing.
Okay. I think they're gone.
Once back at her stealth campsite, she started a small fire to cook her food. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a huge mistake, because shortly after starting the fire, she started hearing the sound of people talking and walking toward her in the forest.
There are people walking around back here. They don't have headlamps on, but like I said in my last video, I do not like being around people in the middle of a forest, especially when it's dark out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does, girly. I don't think anybody would. Yeah, I think everybody would be shatting themselves. Unless if they're not talking to you and they're just walking around in the pitch black dark with no light, yeah, I'd probably leave. I'd probably start running in the opposite direction.
So I might pack up and get out of here
Might be a smart
when I
decision.
think the coast is clear.
It's unclear what the kids' intentions were, and we likely won't ever know, as she made the wise decision to avoid any risk by packing up her things and quickly leaving the cemetery, making sure to remain as quiet as possible.
Bravo to her, because that was a smart decision. Probably the smartest decision you could possibly make. Probably don't go in the middle of a fucking graveyard in the middle of the night to try to sleep. Just saying. Let's maybe not do that. But whatever. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed part 11 of some creepy encounters. I know I loved making it for you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you all. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.